The JoLynn Braley Show, episode number 148, the number one challenge all of my weight loss coaching clients share. Hey, what are you doing right now? Are you driving? Are you cooking? Are you surfing the internet? Are you on Facebook? Are you looking at Instagram on your phone? Whatever you are doing right now, stop this podcast. Do not listen any further. Come back to this podcast when you are 100% distraction-free, both feet flat on the floor, alone, no distractions. It's a challenge for you. Let's see if you can succeed in completing this challenge. Stop the podcast now. Hello, this is JoLynn Braley. Did you win the challenge? Are you 100% distraction-free? Are you sitting in a chair with a back, both feet flat on the floor, only listening to this podcast? No other distractions. If that's where you are, then that is something to celebrate. Please give yourself a hug, a high five, some kind of celebration that does not involve food or drink. And really celebrate this for yourself, okay? If for any reason you are still listening to my voice and you are not distraction-free, what if you complete the challenge? Stop this podcast, stop listening, turn it off, and come back when you are 100% distraction-free. Okay, so for you who is totally distraction-free, I'm going to tell you more about this topic and why it is so freaking totally badass important if you want to ever succeed in ending your binge eating, ending your emotional eating, ending the drama, ending the trauma, ending the fears, the fat in your head. That's the most important fat to release. The fat on your body, it's only a symptom of the fat in your head. Write this down. Pause the podcast, get pen and paper, write this down. F as in Frank, period. A as in Apple, period. T as in Tom, period. F-A-T. What does this stand for? Fear, F-E-A-R. Attracting thoughts. Okay? Fear, attracting thoughts. That is the mindset that drives the out-of-control eating, the food obsessions, the food addiction, using food to cope with your day-to-day life, using food to soothe your upsets about traffic, about your coworkers, about your family, about your children, about what you saw on social media. Hey, understand, please hear me. I have been there before. I totally get it, but it's a miserable way to live. It totally sucks. At least in my experience, it only makes you more fat. You know, you don't look cute in your jeans, and it's just not fun. You know what I mean, Jean? And you don't have to stay there. Hey, if you have never tuned in to the JoLynn Braley Show before, I am JoLynn Braley. That's me. That's who is talking with you right now. And I am the permanent weight loss coach who is the founder of the Inner Self Diet. That is the diet that is not actually a diet because it's not a food program. It's not an exercise program. Instead, what we do in the Inner Self Diet is I personally coach my private coaching clients through my proven system of steps that heal the root of the problem. The root of the problem is not your binge eating. The root of the problem is not your emotional eating. The root of the problem is not the fat on your body. It's what is creating all of this stuff. Does that make sense? And so the cool thing is, it's just like if you've ever had weeds in your garden or in your lawn, and let's say that they're in your lawn and you take a lawnmower and you mow the lawn, or you have somebody else mow the lawn, and all you do is cut off the tops of those weeds. Guess what? they grow right back, especially if they're really hardy weeds. Just like these food and weight struggles, wouldn't you say that these are very hardy? They're long lasting. They really keep coming back and they keep springing back up. And that's only because you haven't pulled them out by the root. And don't beat yourself up. It's almost impossible to do this on your own. And the reason is because you can't see your own blind spots. BLIND SPOTS. Everybody has blind spots. Everyone. That is why everyone on the planet, or anybody who has been on this planet and has highly succeeded in their life, in either their relationships, their business, they've helped millions of people by sharing some kind of a message. Authors, and Oprah. You know that Oprah has a life coach. You know that, don't you? Oprah has not gotten to where she is all by herself. Anybody who wants to succeed and they want to do it quickly, they get coaching. All right. Now, when it comes to these eating disorders, you want to work with a specialized coach if you want results, of course. It's all up to you. What do you want? If you want to work with a general life coach because you just want general life coaching, then you're looking at general results. That's why this reminds me, as I'm talking, I've had a lot of clients who have hired me to help them break free of their food and weight struggles, and they've been in therapy for years and years and years, general therapy. Some of them have even had life coaching, but that type of therapy and life coaching, when it's not giving you the solutions and the tools, you've got to have tools to work with in your day-to-day life. Because you're the one in your life. You're the one who has the career or the business that you have. You're the one who has a husband and the kids or the boyfriend or whatever your situation is. That's you living your life. You're the one getting into your car and driving places. You're the one going to the drive-thrus. Okay? You have to have tools that you can pull out of your virtual toolbox and work with them in the moment so that you are managing your day-to-day life without using food to try to stuff down your insecurities, stuff down your self-doubt, stuff down your fears, your worries, whatever it is, without using food to have fun, without using food to feel better, okay? Food is a good thing. Don't make food bad, because food, you live in a human body, all right? That's your vehicle here on this planet. You live in a human body. Food is fuel for your body. Now, there is fake food out there, and it's really easy to get addicted to that fake food. I've been there. Raise your hand if you're addicted to fake food. I certainly have been, and I know what it's like on the other side, too, to be eating real food that has... It's real food. It's the food that people used to eat before the 1950s when processed food came on the scene. It is so simple, but it is impossible if you don't have the right mindset. That's 92.8% of the challenge. If you want to win with your weight permanently, it is 92.8% inner game. Are you following me? Are you getting what I'm saying? If you are one of those gals, just like my coaching clients, who feel like you've done everything to try to fix this problem, I bet you anything you have not addressed what is 92.8% of the problem, because if you'd done that and you'd healed the root, you wouldn't be listening to me talking on and on and on and on. You'd be out there living your life, having fun, looking badass cute in your favorite pair of jeans, feeling good in your own skin, and enjoying life. Hey, but don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean that life is going to be perfect. Life is never going to be perfect. But when you can live your life without using food to cope with it, then you're free. Does this make sense? Are you getting it? I mean, just imagine if you could really, really do this. Imagine if right now you were listening to my voice and you were already at your ideal weight and you still have negative things happening in your life. You have a fight with your husband, or you get fired from your job, or whatever it is. But when you can go through these situations and you can go through them and manage yourself without using food to try to make it all better, then you could at least look cute while you're going through all this stuff and not give yourself an extra 10 problems to deal with all the weight gain, the health issues, oh my gosh, all the things that come along with obesity and overweight. You know that yo-yo dieting is really, really, really bad for your heart? Did you know that? You can Google it. Did you know that these problems of acid reflux? How many commercials do you see about that if you watch primetime TV? I am a Survivor watcher. I love the show Survivor. And I see these commercials that come up in between my Survivor little episodes there. And, it's like all these drugs. And then all of the warnings that come with all these drugs. And if you were just to get the right mindset, that's 92.8% of the problem, and it's 92.8% of the solution. And if you were to get the right mindset and be able to live your life without using food as your boyfriend, without using food to cope, without using food to try to make it all better, then you could get to your ideal weight, get healthy, not just healthy in your body, but healthy in your mind, healthy in your heart space. Well, I would imagine it would also help your heart muscle be healthier too. You could check with your doctor about that. I can't give you medical advice. I'm just doing a free weight loss podcast here. Although, oh my gosh, as soon as I said that just now, I am remembering one of my awesome coaching clients who has graduated the Inner Self Diet. If you go to fearlessfatloss.com/blog, and as of the time of this recording, up in the top menu, there should be a word testimonials. And if you hover over that, and in the testimonials, there's a page for written testimonials, and then there's also a page for audio testimonials, where I actually have interviewed over the phone awesome clients who have graduated the Inner Self Diet. And look for Barb, okay? Barb actually, now again, I'm not a doctor. I am a permanent weight loss coach. My specialty is the inner world. I'm a certified master NLP practitioner, certified master coach. I'm a certified master consciousness shifting coach, all kinds of different certifications, which I put together and I help my clients break free of their problems. And Barb, though, she actually literally had a heart problem, literally. And she also described herself. Now, you can go read about this, and you can also listen to the audio interview that I did with her. I'm not sharing anything that she didn't share to be shared with the public. But she actually had a real honest-to-goodness heart problem, and she was on medication. And she also described herself before I started coaching her, before she started working with me, she described herself as Darth Vader because she was so negative and unhappy and frustrated and resentful and just overall negative each day. And doing my steps in the Inner Self Diet, she became happy. Imagine that. Imagine if you could get happy and release the extra fat from your body, okay? But not only did she do that, but she also cleaned out her whole condo of anything that no longer served her. In fact, I think that actually what happened was I think her and her husband were in a house, and then they decided to sell the house and move into a condo, but they only took the things with them that they loved. And before she worked with me, that was just it was just too overwhelming to even imagine. These are the kind of results that, people come to me because they want to lose weight and they want to stop binge eating. They want to stop emotional eating. But when you heal the root of these problems, it intersects every single area of your life because you do not have a weight problem. You do not have an overeating problem. You have an inner self problem. And that inner self problem is impacting every other area of your life. And it's showing up, and it's easy to see the symptoms in your overweight because it's just right in your face. Does this make sense? Are you getting it? And so anyway, Barb, she also had this heart problem, and she went to her doctor, and her doctor said that it had totally resolved and she didn't even need to take that medication anymore. And he asked her what she'd been doing. And she just said, "Well, I've been working on my self and my attitude and my inner self, and she also dropped weight. I think she dropped 40 pounds. You can read all about this and also listen to her interview. Just go over to fearlessfatloss.com/blog and use that link that's in the menu at the top where it says testimonials. But I tell you what, it's quite amazing what can be done once you heal your inner self. All right. And, I've been doing this work since 2009. It has worked for every client I've worked with who just simply does the steps. Now, it's never going to work for you if all you do is just listen to me talk. You've got to actually do the work. You've got to do the steps. I mean, that's common sense, but unfortunately, today in this world that we live in, common sense is not common behavior, so many people are looking for some kind of magic pill that will just take all their problems away. Well, guess what? You're not going to find one. You're not going to find one. You have to learn how to do new things, and you got to do those new things just taking baby steps, starting from where you are. And you do these new things, and then you do them consistently, and over time, you transform the frickin' heck out of yourself, and you get to feeling super awesome good. And then guess what? It is no big deal to live a healthy lifestyle, okay? There's no magic, but you do experience. I mean, I have had coaching clients that say that they feel like the results that they've gotten from working with me, that it's magic, but it's not. They get the magic by doing the steps. They follow the steps. All right. So, it's just common sense and also I agree with Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins says that you're never going to learn, you're never going to transform, you're not going to get the experience by just listening. And, there's a lot of people out there who are just listening to podcasts and they're looking for some kind of a spark. They're looking for, if I just listen to enough podcasts, hey, oh, wow, JoLynn's got hundreds of podcast episodes here and they're all free. Maybe if I just listen to all of them, I'll get this spark and I'll get motivated. Or, oh, look at this person. They've got all these podcasts. Oh, look at this one. I'm just going to keep listening to podcasts, listening. But, listening is good if it gives you a paradigm shift, if it gives you awareness. But the most important awareness to get is that you got to get into action. Okay? Nothing is going to change if you don't change yourself. Nothing is going to change if you don't start taking different action. All right? So I've actually gone off into a little bit more than I had planned on when I first started today's podcast for you. Oh, by the way, do you already have my free ebook? If you don't, you can get it at www.easyfunweightloss.com, www.easyfunweightloss.com, and it's totally free. It's a free download. You just have to enter your first name and email, and we will send that to you. You'll get 3 simple steps to start making weight loss easier from the inside out. These are not your normal steps that you're used to collecting. These are not food tips. They're not exercise tips. All right? So you can get that at www.easyfunweightloss.com. Okay, so today's topic, the number one challenge that all of my weight loss coaching clients share when they first start working with me. Barb had this problem too, who I was just talking to you about. All of the people that you will read about over on fearlessfatloss.com, all of those people, there's also videos. I have actual real life videos of clients who have graduated my program, and they talk about their results. Aren't they brave? Isn't that cool? And then I just started asking for videos just recently. If I'd been asking for videos all along, I'd have a whole lot more. But I didn't think of it. Hey, I'm not perfect, but isn't it cool that I don't allow perfectionism to stop me. I just keep moving forward, because if I didn't keep moving forward and keep helping my awesome coaching clients, then they wouldn't get the help, and they wouldn't be feeling better, and they wouldn't be getting the results that they want with how happy they are now and how good they feel in their own skin, and also dropping the fat and keeping it off. Another one of my clients I coached back in 2011, her name is Holly, and she had been out of control with binge eating for over 30 years. She tried everything. She'd been in therapy on and off for 7 years. Nothing had worked for her. She found me on the internet, which is how everybody finds me. And I mean, the podcast, this is really the internet also, right? And so Holly hired me, and she did my steps. At first, she had a challenge doing the steps, and that actually leads into this topic here today, which I am going to get to. But first, let me finish this story about Holly, because it's really inspiring. Because she was way out of control with binge eating. She was actually living overseas with her husband, and what she would do is she would eat all the food in the house and then frantically drive down the opposite side of the road. Opposite for us here in America, she'd drive down the opposite side of the road to hurry to get to the grocery store to buy all the food, replace it, what she'd just eaten, and bring it all home before her husband got home from work, because she didn't want him to know. And that's the kind of struggle that she was in. As she described it, it was madness, So she did my steps, and she broke free of that behavior. She stopped binge eating. And she was 20 pounds overweight. She dropped the 20 pounds. And what's most important about Holly is that she has kept that weight off, and her whole life, her outlook has transformed. She still keeps in touch with me. She still sends me updates. And a major thing that's different for her now is, in the past, when her and her husband would book a vacation, the whole focus was on, what are we going to eat? Where are we going to go to eat? What kind of food? What's the food? That was her before the inner self diet. And now it's all about, hey, what are the fun things? Where can we go bike riding? Do they have hiking? What are all the sights that we can see? And then, we're going to need to eat, of course, but that's for fuel. So it's a totally different life, and she's looking good while she's doing it. Super, super, super cool stuff. Okay, so let's get to today's topic. And if you have won the challenge, if you followed my instructions, if you took me up on the challenge that I gave you at the beginning of today's podcast, and if you got totally distraction free, and right now you're listening to my voice and you're totally distraction free, you're sitting down, both feet flat on the floor, only listening to me, you're not doing anything else, then you have won the challenge. Here's the number one struggle that all of my weight loss coaching clients share before they start working with me. It's that they are not taking daily time for themselves, distraction-free, every day, to be with themselves, to attend to themselves, to address themselves, to become aware of themselves, to become their own best friend, to take the time to heal the root of their out of control eating behaviors, to take the time to feel their own emotions. Instead, what they're doing before working with me is they give all of their extra time outside of, you've got to go to work, or if you have your own business, you're still doing work. You've got to get your work done. But outside of that work time, what my clients are doing before working with me is they're yes. Anybody that asks them to do anything for them, it's always a yes. And they're giving all of their time to everyone else. And then they feel super resentful. And they take it out on themselves by stuffing themselves with food, sitting in a dark corner of the kitchen at night, eating all of the bagels, or eating the whole box of Oreo cookies, or eating the ice cream out of the carton, or they hit the 7-Eleven or McDonald's or Wendy's on their way home from work, or while they're running these errands for all of these other people, because they are not feeding themselves with love, self-love, and attention. They're not communicating with themselves. They're not willing to take the time for themselves. Now, if you did not win the challenge and you're actually still listening to my voice and you're driving or you're surfing the net or you're looking at Instagram, then what are all the negative thoughts that you tell yourself why you're not willing to just take a couple minutes only for yourself? Does a whole bunch of anxiety come up for you and you're just trying to run from it all the time? What's going on? You know, here's a fact. Here is a fact. You will always, always, always make time for that which you value the most. I'll say that again. Are you getting an aha? You will always make time for that which you value the most. Hey, I didn't make this up. It's from A Course in Miracles, but it's true. Whatever you're spending your time on, that's what you value. But are you getting something from what I'm saying here? If you're not willing to spend time on you, then how much do you value yourself? Because guess what? It takes time to live a healthy lifestyle. It takes a time investment. It takes a monetary investment. It takes a focus investment. It takes an investment in your awareness. It takes an investment in becoming your own best friend, changing your inner world. Okay? There is no magic pill. You can't just take a pill and snap all of this stuff away. So if you're not willing to take a few minutes a day to spend time only with yourself, distraction-free, what does that say about how much you value yourself? Is this making sense? And so when my coaching clients start working with me, we start with taking baby steps of taking time each day with very simple steps so that they can start getting in the habit of taking time for themselves each day without guilt, without apology, without anxiety. Well, of course, they get tools to deal with any negative emotions that come up because you have to have those tools. That's part of the big problem here. But you have to be willing to start doing things differently if what you're doing now is not working. Have you ever heard of Einstein's definition of insanity? The definition of insanity is continuing to do the same things over and over and over again while expecting different results. It's insanity. So what you're doing now is clearly not working. Otherwise, you wouldn't still be listening to me talk. Why would you spend your time listening to me talk if what you were doing now was working? If what you're doing now was giving you struggle-free weight loss, if it was giving you a healthy relationship with food, if you felt absolutely fantastic about yourself and your body, if you look great in your jeans, and you don't have food fear or food anxiety or unhealthy food focus, if you were not afraid of the scale, okay, if you didn't have any problems with food and your weight, there's no way you'd still be listening to me talk. So clearly what you're doing now is not working. All right? Is this making sense? Are you getting it? Okay? So does it make sense that if you just keep doing what you're doing, it's not going to change? And you got to be willing to get uncomfortable in order to get the changes you want. Because your comfort zone is what you're doing now. Your comfort zone is what you keep doing. But it's only keeping you in the struggle, right? Are you getting this, right? Is it making sense? Am I communicating it clear enough? You know, a lot of people, they are so stuck, and they're so stuck in telling themselves lies. That is the denial, and that is the delusion, and that is when you're rationalizing. You're rationalizing. Oh, well, I can't take time for myself. I don't have enough time. Oh, well, and all these excuses. Do you know what rationalizing, what that breaks down to? Rational lies. Lies you tell yourself. If you keep doing that, do not expect to look great in your jeans. Okay? Just give it up, man, because it ain't going to work. I've been there before. I'm raising my hand right now. If you could see me, my hand is up in the air. I have been there before. I've told myself all the lies and all the stories and all the bullshit, and it doesn't work. You have to be willing to get uncomfortable. You know what? You should feel uncomfortable to reach out and get coaching. You should feel uncomfortable to learn new things. You should feel uncomfortable to be imperfect when you start taking new actions, because if you are not uncomfortable, something is wrong. Because if you're not uncomfortable, that means that you're still in your comfort zone, and you already know your comfort zone doesn't work. So all of my clients, every single one of them has had this challenge before they start working with me. They give all their time to everybody else, and they're trying to feed themselves with all this extra food and junky food and fake food. And they're trying to fill up a hole that they can never fill with all that food. And it only gives them a bigger weight problem, and it drags down their self-esteem. It knocks a huge chunk. Like, imagine if your self-esteem is a cinder block. And when you keep doing these things to yourself over and over and over again, you've got like a couple pebbles left of that complete cinder block, because you just keep hammering yourself over and over and over again until there's nothing left and you're just like ground level. You know what I mean, Jean? So it's a complex problem, but it doesn't have to be complex to solve it. If you have a system that you're working with, if you've got daily action steps to work with that start out just with baby steps with where you are, if you're willing to get uncomfortable, if you're willing to face your own fears, if you're willing to face this is what one of my clients called it. She said, JoLynn helps you see or expose the dark underbelly of these weight loss problems. And if you just listen to what she says, it works, you know? Well, actually, that's not true. You can't just listen. You got to take action. You got to do the steps. And everybody that I've worked with who has just followed my instructions and they've done the steps, they've broken free. But you can't break free if you just listen to me. Oh, JoLynn, you've got such a nice voice. Yeah, I used to sing. Thank you. But what does that do for you? You know? Who cares? You wanna get your problems fixed, don't you? Yeah? Right? Is what I'm saying making sense? Hey, you know what? You can go over to my Facebook page, facebook.com/JoLynn Braley. And to know how to spell my name, you can look in the where you're seeing this podcast right now. All right? And like the page, click to get notifications when I post something new. And you can leave me a comment on that page. Tell me the number of the podcast that you listen to, and tell me if what I said in the podcast made sense. And when I say the number, for example, this one here is episode number 148, and you could tell me if it made sense or not. Because hey, if I'm just talking gibberish, if I'm not clearly communicating, then that's not very helpful, right? But I kind of think that I am clearly communicating because of my own personal struggles that I've had with the food and eating and the overweight, and all of the experience that I've had coaching clients professionally since 2009. And, you know, a lot of my clients, when they first start working with me, they're in a pretty bad spot. They are feeling pretty darn shitty about themselves. And it's amazing to see, and it's really exciting for me to see a person start there, and then they just start with baby steps. And they don't always have a lot of hope when they first start. They feel hope because I believe in them, But that eventually you have to translate that. You have to transform that into believing in yourself. And the belief in yourself comes over time as you just keep going. You just take a little bit of time, not 5 hours a day, okay? Not like these extreme workout plans where, oh, you got to spend all this time in the gym. You do need to change your eating and exercise habits to get healthy and fit. That is for sure. But in the inner self diet, it just starts with, okay, here's this exercise. It's 5 minutes, okay? Do this every day for 5 minutes. And then here's this one, okay? And do this every day and take 10 minutes to do this, whatever the exercise is, all right? And you got to be willing to get uncomfortable. For a lot of people, it's very uncomfortable. Some of them do feel guilty, and they feel ashamed to be taking time for themselves, to be investing money in themselves. But I tell you what, if there's anybody in your life that you love, how can you give them love that you don't have for yourself? How do you do that? How can you give away anything that you do not have for yourself? I'll tell you the secret answer. You can't. You can't give away something to somebody else that you don't have for yourself. And how much do you love yourself right now? How much do you like yourself right now? I believe that learning to like yourself is even more important, because I bet you've got some people in your life that it's true. You love them, but you don't want to hang out with them because you don't like them. So how much do you like yourself right now? Are you proud of yourself? Do you feel good about yourself? Do you feel good about how you eat and take care of yourself every day? Do you have very positive self-talk? Are you your own best friend? Are you getting this? Hey, are you crying? If you're crying, then allow yourself to cry. If you feel that bad, then at least allow yourself to feel that. If you could feel that instead of going and stuffing yourself with ice cream, that would be a huge thing, you know? Whatever's coming up is on its way out, and whatever is coming up for healing. It is time for a commercial break here on the JoLynn Braley Show. This week's sponsor of the JoLynn Braley Show is my free ebook. It's my free download. You can get that right now at www.easyfunweightloss.com. And when you download it and you read it, you'll get my 3 simple steps to start making weight loss easier from the inside out. All right? From the inside out. These are 3 steps that your mama never taught you about losing weight and what it really takes to be successful. Okay? You can get that now. It's totally free. Just enter your first name and email address, and you can get it at www.easyfunweightloss.com. All right, grab pen and paper, which if you followed my instructions earlier, you already have pen and paper. If you don't have pen and paper, then pause the podcast, get pen and paper if you want to get the most out of this 100% free weight loss podcast. And I have a couple questions for you to write down for yourself, to ask yourself, and then to write your answers down, pen on paper, to each question. This is only going to work if you do it. All right? There's actually a connection that occurs between the head, the hand, and the heart when you write pen on paper. You do not get that connection if you type on a keyboard. You don't get that connection at all if you just listen to me. You know what I mean, Jean? So pause the podcast when you need more time, because I'm just going to give you these and then you need to take time to answer them. First question, how much do I like myself right now? How much do I genuinely like myself right now? Might be hard for you to answer, but I suggest you do it. And you can even break it down into different areas if you want to. But what I've found in my experience, and also the experience of my private coaching clients, is that when you are hating your body and you're hating yourself because of your out of control eating, and you're just disgusted and fed up with yourself with all of the food and weight and the body, the thing, this whole topic, that it spreads into the whole rest of your life, because you take that body and you take that attitude and you take that feeling with you when you go into work, or when you're running your business, when you go for a walk, or if you don't even go for a walk, right? I've had a lot of clients who do not want their husband to come up behind them and give them a hug, because they are so disgusted with themselves and they don't want their husband to feel their fat rolls. So this problem, it's with you 24/7. You can't escape it when you're sleeping unless you have dreams about it or nightmares. And if you're having dreams and nightmares about it, then it's a 24/7 issue. So again, the question, how much do I genuinely like myself right now? Number 2 question, what are the top 3 ahas that I've gotten out of this podcast here? List them out, 1, 2, 3. What are the top 3 ahas I've gotten out of this podcast here? Number 3 question, how do I feel when I take daily time for myself to just be with myself distraction-free? To feel what I'm feeling, to communicate with myself, to become my own best friend. How do I feel when I take daily time, distraction-free, to be with myself each day, to become my own best friend, to feel what I'm feeling, and to communicate with myself? Number 4 question, if I'm not even doing what JoLynn gave me in number 3, if what I said in number 3, the number 3 question, you're like, I never do that. I never do that. I try to run as fast as I can away from myself and avoid my feelings. And where's the food? Where's the food? Where's the food? Hey, I've been there before, but it just made me bigger. So the number 4 question, if you don't ever do, or remember, if you just do it once a month, that doesn't count. This is a daily thing. Okay? You're just not going to get very far in life. I mean, you can reach a certain point hating yourself and hating your body, but what kind of life is that? So, number 4 question, if I'm not doing daily what JoLynn just said in number 3, what are all my negative thoughts that stop me? And list them all out. All of the negativity, all of the garbage, all of the shame, all of the guilt, all of the fears, your fears about what other people will think, your guilt, your worries, all of the negativity. Write down all of the negative thoughts that you tell yourself that stop you from taking that time for yourself each day to become your own best friend, to communicate with yourself, and to feel whatever you're feeling. Number 5 question, what am I going to do different? What is my daily action plan to get uncomfortable and do steps that are radically different so that I can finally end my binge eating, end my emotional eating, end this whole struggle? So I can get right with food, get right with myself, be normal, because you're not going to be able to just ignore eating food. You have a human body, right? So what is my daily action plan that is going to make me uncomfortable? It has to make you uncomfortable. Otherwise, you're not out of your comfort zone, and you've already proven to yourself that your comfort zone doesn't work. What's my daily action plan that is going to make me uncomfortable, that I'm going to do every day to end my food and weight struggles so that I can just be normal with food, get to a healthy weight, maintain that the rest of my life? The last question, who's my coach? Who is coaching me? Because coaching is the fastest path to your goal. Coaching is the fastest path, especially when you're working with a highly specialized, highly trained coach who's already helped a whole bunch of people before you. And they already have the steps that you just need to follow that are going to make you uncomfortable, because if you're not uncomfortable, you are not out of your comfort zone, and your comfort zone is just going to make you fatter or keep you fat. If you don't like the word fat, then that's another problem, because that means that you're identifying with the fat. And the fat, it's not bad. It's just fat on your body. Your body's working to store up all that extra fat. It's not doing anything wrong. So, who is my coach? Who is believing in me when I'm not believing in myself? Who is my coach that I do feel uncomfortable? I felt uncomfortable when I hired my coach. I felt uncomfortable the first time I got on the phone to have a complimentary weight loss discovery session with my coach. And I honored my uncomfortability, and I was looking to feel uncomfortable. I wanted the sign that I felt very uncomfortable getting on the phone with my coach, who I'm working with now, because I knew that if I didn't feel uncomfortable, then I was still in my comfort zone. See, you need to hire a coach, and you should feel uncomfortable when you invest money in yourself, just in yourself, to get coaching. You should feel uncomfortable, because if you don't, then you're still in the same old patterns. You're still in your comfort zone. You should feel uncomfortable doing new things. You should feel uncomfortable getting real with yourself. You should feel uncomfortable getting new coaching. Otherwise, I know I've said this many times, but it bears repeating. Otherwise, if you feel comfortable, then what you've got up ahead of you is just more of the same. Does this make sense? Are you getting it? Is it shaking you up? I hope it is. Because the worst thing that I would wish for anybody is to stay stuck in the struggle, because it sucks. It sucks. It sucks big time, and it's stinky, and it's all icky and like a moldy wetness. It's just gross. It's horrible. It's not fun. And I know it could feel like fun for a couple minutes. Ooh, chocolate cake. Ooh, ooh. And so you're eating all the cake, and for 5 minutes, ooh, yeah. And then for 5 hours and 5 days and 5 months, you feel like crap. And 5 years. You know, one of the, a big challenge that I experienced in all of my food and weight struggles was this constant putting it off. Well, guess what? You know how many years that turns into? Because there is never, I challenge you to tell me, when is the right time to finally fix this problem? There isn't one. Because you'll tell yourself, oh, the holiday season is approaching. This isn't the right time. Oh, it's January 1st. Oh, you know what? This isn't the right time because I'm just going to do it on my own. Oh, it's January 15th. I've already bombed out. But, well, I could still do it on my own. But Valentine's Day, it's right around the corner. And I don't want to feel like I'm missing out on chocolate, even though I know that chocolate is not going to lead me towards my ideal body. So I'm just going to wait. Oh, my God, now Easter's coming up. Oh, now spring is coming. Oh, all the spring flowers and the spring cookies and the better weather. Oh, well, I'll get started. Oh, my God, 4th of July. I can't do anything now. I can't do anything new. It's not the right time. Oh, my gosh. Oh, it's summer. Summer is not the right time. Yeah, it's, I gotta, I'll wait until, oh my God, it's Labor Day weekend. This is not the right time because too many things going on. Oh my God, now it's Halloween. Oh, Thanksgiving's coming up. Oh, I'll wait until January. Oh, now it's Valentine's Day is coming up. This just goes on. It just goes on. And actually, this is a sign of addiction. It's never the right time. So, you can break free of these food and weight struggles. It's not going to happen by staying in your comfort zone, bottom line. And I got to wrap this podcast up because I went a little bit over. I would love it if you'd come over to my Facebook page, facebook.com/JoLynn Braley. Like the page, sign up for notifications so that you get notified when I post something new. And you can leave me a comment. Tell me what your top 3 ahas are that you got out of podcast number 148. That would be awesome. Next week's episode of the JoLynn Braley Show, that is going to be episode number 149, and I will tell you next week what the topic is because I don't have it right in front of me right now. But rest assured, I will be back. And no, I don't look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So remember, get my free ebook if you want my 3 simple steps to start making weight loss easier from the inside out. You can get that at www.easyfunweightloss.com. And if you are a high achiever, if you're a really cool peep, all right, I know you feel miserable. I know you're not liking yourself. I know you're out of control with food and your weight, and you probably feel a lot of shame, guilt, and self-disgust. But if you have a good attitude, as far as knowing that there's no magic pill. And if you are willing to get uncomfortable with yourself so that you can get out of your comfort zone and you can end your food and weight struggles as quickly as possible, and you want my help to do it, if it makes sense to you that coaching is the fastest path to success, and if that makes sense to you, that means that you're really smart, because all smart people, all high achievers, they all have coaches. The other people who keep telling themselves they can do it on their own, good luck. Good luck to those folks. But you, if you want to end your food and weight struggles as quickly as possible, then your first step is to complete an application for a complimentary weight loss discovery session. This is the same thing that all of my coaching clients did in order to start working with me. We have to have that phone call because I work with you intimately, right? Very closely. We work right over the phone. And so all those people, if you read the written testimonials over at fearlessfatloss.com/blog and then click on the testimonials links that are at the top of the page in the menu, all of those people that you read about, all the people that you see in videos, all the people that you listen to their audio testimonials, they all started with that initial phone call with me. And if you are willing to get uncomfortable, to reach out, to accept that you cannot do this alone, and if you're willing to value yourself high enough to end this food and weight struggle, to heal the root of it so that you can feel great about yourself. And when you achieve that, it's not going to be a big deal to live a healthy lifestyle, and just imagine how much you will have to give to the people in your life that you love. When you truly like and love yourself, when you become your own best friend. All right? How cool will that be? So to start this process, just go over to www.discovery-session.com, www.discovery-session.com, and I'll tell you, I think it's easier to complete the application on a laptop than it is on a phone, and I'm just giving you that heads up because you want to make sure that you answer all of the questions fully, because not all people that send in applications get on the phone with me, all right? So if you're really cool and you really want to change these problems, you want to break free of these food and weight issues, you want to get to your ideal weight, you want to look great, no apology needed, all right? There's no reason to apologize for looking your best and looking great in your jeans, all right? So I do recommend filling out the application on a desktop or a laptop, or maybe even an external keyboard. That's the whole thing. I just think it'd be difficult on a phone. So I'm just giving you a heads up to help yourself have the highest chance of success here. I hope that's helpful. And anyway, start now. Go over to www.discovery-session.com. Hey, thanks so much for being here with me today. Congratulations if you won the challenge and you listened to this podcast completely distraction-free. That frickin' rocks. Do pay attention, though, to any negative thoughts that came up, any feelings of guilt, unworthiness, shame, fears of what other people might think because you took this time for yourself. And if I were you, I would write that down pen on paper, especially if we work together. I want to know. I want you to tell me everything that all of your negative thoughts that came up while taking this time for yourself all alone. In fact, I would like you to tell me that on the discovery session call. You don't have to try to analyze it or figure it out. Just write it all down. Okay? That'd be awesome. Hey, I'm JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach, founder of the Empowering Inner Self Diet, the diet that is not a diet. It's not a food diet. It's not an exercise program. Instead, what it does is it heals the root of the real problem. I wish you your best life living inside of your ideal body.